Hi, welcome to Love Saranghae with Peter and Andrea. In the next 30 minutes, we'll take you on a journey into the exciting world of entrepreneurship, relationships, and the secrets behind achieving that coveted glow. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. Today, we're doing another one of your favorite skincare Q&A. Thank you to everyone who writes in, who asks questions, because it helps us help you in the ways that you need it most. Okay, first one. Her name is Manpreet S, and her skin stage is 40 to 50 years old. Her skin type is dry and sensitive, and her skin concern is redness. Oh, we have a lot of those today. Hi, Saranghae.
All of us, you and me both.
I know. I have redness on my cheeks that won't go away. I got medicine for that from my dermatologist, but still have these little spots of redness, and my skin is now so sensitive. Can you suggest something or a few things that might help this problem from your skincare line? I'd be forever grateful. Thank you, Manpreet.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
All right. So let me take this one, and then you could interject some color commentary as we move forward. So this is actually quite common for most people who don't have this particular condition won't know, because this is something very specific to what dermatologists will tell you. So hi, Manpreet. I think Manpreet is actually, you're going through a drug-induced skin sensitivity. Okay. So again, if you're not taking any medication, you won't know. But if you are, this is actually quite common, especially if your skin is exposed to unprotected UV light while taking that medication. So that's a very caustic combination, right? The sun, the UV rays, is a killer on our skin, especially when it's sensitive. So I'm going to recommend a skincare routine that is more geared towards healing, moisturization, and with a hint of correctness for redness, because you have prescription medication for redness and rosacea and hyperpigmentation, it looks like. So we're not going to address that here and compound the correctives. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to try to take care of that sensitive side by giving you a more moisturizing and healing recommendation.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to try and balance it out.
Yeah.
In Korean skincare, the philosophy is always equilibrium.
Yeah.
So when the skin is inflamed, red, aggravated, then we're going to counteract that with things that will calm down the redness and heal.
It's a simple solution to a simple problem that happens quite a bit, but you don't know what the balancing of the skincare routine or how to build a skincare routine, you wouldn't know. So let's move forward. So the products we'd like you to purchase is the Basics Trio. So it's 3 products, which is the cleanser, our double cleanser, toner, and Firm and Lift. And it's the basic, right? These are the foundational building blocks of a basic skincare routine. The second would be our Advanced Pore Minimizing and Skin Tone Corrective Serum with 10% niacinamide and 1% glutathione. And the last product will be the Common Glow Snail Mucin Serum, 96%. Okay, so at nighttime, the recommended night routine would be, step 1, cleanse with your facial brush. Apply the cleanser on dry skin. That's very important. Use the brush, lightly exfoliate, not too hard, because your skin is irritated. And then add warm water afterwards to rinse off or to foam.
I just want to interject on that for a minute.
Yeah.
You have to, so when you're cleansing, you're putting on the cleanser on dry skin. Then you add water, and then you use the brush.
Yes.
Don't use the brush with the dry cleanser on the skin. It won't work.
So the water, so the order would be, I like it. The order would be cleanser on, so dry skin, cleanser on, warm water to rinse off a little bit, like to make a foaming action, and then brush.
Number 2, Perfect Balance Toner. You're going to put it on with your hands, and then you're going to use a cotton pad to wipe off any excess. Wait about 30 seconds before you apply the next step, so that it has time to do what it's intended to do.
Then you apply the 10% niacinamide serum, which is the Advanced Pore Minimizing Skin and Skin Tone Corrective Serum. Wait about a minute. Apply the Common Glow Snail Mucin Serum. Wait about a minute. And then finally apply the Firm and Lift Regeneration Cream. Again, you want to apply your products damp, not dry or soaking wet, because the damp skin allows for greater permeability of the products to soak in past your outer layers of your skin. For the daytime routine, it's a lot simpler. So step one, I would just use the toner. I wouldn't use the cleanser in this case. You can if you want to. It's not there's no negative connotation to it. It's just that in the morning, it's not necessary.
What I typically do with that is if I've worked out in the morning or if I've done anything that creates a sweat, then I would use a cleanser. Otherwise, I just rinse with water and then I use a toner.
There you go. Step 2, 10% niacinamide serum. Step 3, the Common Glow Snail Mucin. And step 4, the Firm and Lift Regeneration Cream. Yeah, so these steps of the night and daytime routine are very skewed towards our anti-inflammatory side of skincare routine because your medication is making your skin highly inflammatory. The final step I always recommend is to wear our SPF 50 sunscreen, pure mineral. You have two options here, actually, because you need to protect your skin from the sun, especially when it's in a medicated state. My primary option always is to cover up. So if you're okay with wearing a wide brim hat, something to cover your skin at all times, that's the best case scenario. Else, use a sunscreen, SPF 50. It's almost as good, but if you can't cover up without sunscreen, that's always the best case scenario. That's why you see all the ladies in Asia, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, China, they're always wearing hats or a sombrero.
Big, wide-brimmed hats.
Umbrellas, yeah. Because even though they wear sunscreen, they always protect their face from UV light. Okay? So I think that's it. That's very simple.
Before we move on, though, Peter, would you like to share a little bit about why you suggested using the niacinamide and the Snail and what those two things would do to support the reduction of redness in his skin?
Yeah, so the 10% niacinamide with the 1% glutathione. So glutathione is an amino acid made of 3 primary acids. They support reduction of redness and rosacea. So it's well-known ingredients to help treat rosacea. It doesn't work for everyone. Like none of these skincare ingredients will work 100% for everyone. But for the vast majority, you will see some great production and efficacy by using a combination of those two ingredients as a corrective, a very mild corrective for the skin. Okay?
Yeah, so now typically what you'll notice is your pores will shrink and the redness will be reduced.
Yeah, your skin will just become more and more
And then the Common Glow, the Snail Mucin. Why did you suggest that for her?
Well, the Snail Mucin serum is the ultimate natural skin healer and hydrator and moisturizer. So, people talk about hyaluronic acid all the time about retaining moisture and hydration in the skin barrier. Well, the Snail Mucin naturally does that, but even at a better rate. It is, in our opinion, and in the opinion of many Korean beauty enthusiasts, the best pure anti-inflammatory skin healing, moisturizing serum on the planet right now.
Yeah, and it's an age-old tradition. So in Canada and North America, it's something fairly new. But in Asia, they've been using Snail serum for years and years and years.
Oh, it's been 40 years.
And the nice thing about the Snail serum that we use is that it's very natural. So there's no fragrance or anything that would irritate your skin. It's really intended to just calm down the inflammation, reduce the redness. It also is full of antioxidants. So lots of goodness going back into your skin. And then your last step, which is the Firm and Lift Regeneration Cream, that's going to just lock it all in and keep it there so it can do what it's intended to do throughout the day and night.
Yeah, so I remember back like in the early 1980s or late 1980s, early 1990s, when the BB cream was really popular here in North America and Europe. Yeah, but in Korea, Snail was number one. BB cream was a distant second in trend to Snail. And Snail serum has been around since the 1980s, maybe late 1970s, but it's only grown in popularity. So it's never left. So, yeah.
Because people are discovering it now. They're getting over the fact that it's Snail.
Yeah.
Slime.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, to be honest, hyaluronic acid and some of these more concentrated forms of, chemical compounds are really all they're trying to do is mimic what the Snail does and what it's been doing for the last 40, 50 years. So
the problem is it's really hard to mimic nature.
Exactly.
So you can get close sometimes, but in this case, the actual natural product is actually better. All right, let's do the next one.
All right, here we go. Okay, I'll leave the question, and Andrea will answer our customer, and then I'll add some color commentary. So this is actually one of our older customers. I remember talking to her way back in the day. Her name is Karen G. Her skin stage is 55-65, so mature plus. Skin type is ultra sensitive, and skin concern is psoriasis. She has severe psoriasis right now. Karen asks, hi, I was a Saranghae customer for nearly 10 years, but had to discontinue using it because I have aged my skin. My aged skin has become ultra sensitive. I suffer from psoriasis, especially on my eyelids, and nothing soothed my eyelids. My eyelids are constantly red and itchy. And because I'm already a huge Saranghae fan, I was wondering if you could tell me if some of your newest collections are hypoallergenic and fragrance-free enough for me to handle Saranghae again. Currently, I am using an OTC product called Vanicream. It's okay, but I don't feel like my skin is as nice as it was 2 years ago when I was on your products, before the psoriasis flared up. Help, my face is on fire. Thank you, Karen. So Karen was an original customer of ours for years and years and years. Yeah, and she had to stop because our Generation 7 products had fragrance in it, especially the eye. Yeah, and it would make her eyes water and inflame. It would react. So she had to stop a couple of years ago. So basically, what she's asking is, our new 8th generation triple mushroom products, can she use them? Yeah. And the short answer is yes, but I think Andrea will now answer fully Karen's request, happily.
Hi, Karen. First of all, thank you so much for your question and welcome back. We're so happy to have you here. Also, I'm so sorry that you're going through this situation with your skin. I know Peter has eczema, so we know what it's like to be uncomfortable and frustrated and not know what to do. So we're sending you a big hug. One thing I would suggest before I make any skincare suggestions is to really look at what's going on in your gut. What we're learning as we research more about Peter's eczema as well as my autoimmune situation is that a lot of these skin conditions, chronic skin conditions, stem from things that are going on in an unhealthy gut, or in other words, an unbalanced gut. So I would really encourage you to look into that further if you do have the opportunity to do so. Okay, in addition, in terms of your psoriasis on your eyes, my first recommendation is our Focus Renewal Eye Cream. This is our 8th generation. It's very, very effective in bringing down inflammation. There is no fragrance in this generation. We've removed all the allergens, things that would have caused irritation and that have caused irritation in our last formula. So we're very excited about that. And this new eye cream, I think, would be very, very good for what you're dealing with right now. It'll help to reduce the puffiness, the inflammation, the redness, and the really uncomfortable dryness. So I would highly recommend you giving that a try. And definitely let us know how that feels. The other 2 things I would like to recommend for you, first thing being our Snail mucin. It's called Calm and Glow, Snail Mucin Serum 96. Snail serum has been around for many, many years, and its main function is to heal the skin. So it reduces inflammation, reduces redness. It's packed with natural antioxidants, hyaluronic acid, lots of really skin-soothing ingredients. So my suggestion, based on what you've described and what we've experienced with Peter and his eczema, what we typically do is we put the Snail serum around his eyes. It is safe for your eye area. And then on top of that, we put the Focus Renewal. And often when Peter's eyes are really flared up, and we do that at night, in the morning, they've calmed down quite a bit. So it's not gone completely, but it's much improved. So I would suggest that for you both have no fragrance or any allergens that might irritate. So I think that would be safe.
Yeah. So before we go forward, then, so I gave Karen this advice and my story over email. But for the listeners that are out there right now, I'll give them a quick story because stories are fun. So I've been suffering from eczema since we came to Canada from Korea. So that was when I was 8 years old, and I suffered my first eczema flare up, I think around 10. So it's been 40 years, right, since I have to deal with eczema. Some days are great, some days are okay, some days are terrible. And over the last, I think 20 years ago, I got prescribed a steroid cream. That's what you do when you deal with eczema or psoriasis, is basically you have to use a corticosteroid cream to bring down the inflammation. So I would use a steroid cream on my eyes, and it would help a little bit. But what would happen with my eye is it would thin the skin on the eye, and it would, and then it would be very red, itchy, and scaly, and the skin would flake. Okay, so I would always be like scratching it.
I remember that, yeah.
And if you looked at my eyelid, it was always like little red and always a little scaly looking, right?
It looked like the skin was kind of
that's exactly what it was. And I had to deal with this cycle over and over again for 20 years of my adult life. And then the dermatologist was telling me that I can't use that steroid cream forever because what it was doing was it was taking out layers of my skin. And when exposed to the sun, for example, it would really hurt. It would be completely raw. Yeah. And as Karen would say, my face is on fire. That's exactly what it felt like. My eyelids were on fire all the time. And it was very, very uncomfortable. So it's only recently where I've been using a little bit of the steroid cream. Actually, I don't even use it at all anymore. I've been using the Snail mucin at night, my eyelid, along with my eye cream to cover over. And it's been very, very good. I've had a small flare-up because of my allergies. But over the last, I say, year, it's been the best it's been in my adult life. So, for what it's worth, there's my story.
Yeah, for sure. You have quite the story with eczema, so hopefully this will help. And then as for your face, our new Firm and Lift Regeneration Cream, which also has a triple mushroom complex, reishi, chaga, and sangwan, or the black hoof mushroom. I can pronounce that better. So our suggestion would be to apply the Snail mucin all over your face and then wait for a few seconds, I would say maybe 20 to 30 seconds, so that the skin can really absorb the Snail mucin. And then I would add your Firm and Lift on top, and that will really lock in that moisture and all those good ingredients, and work its magic throughout the day. Is there anything else you want to say about that, Peter?
No, that's good. It's a simple but very, very overwhelming problem that many people deal with, and it's a very simple solution. It's really, there is no cure for psoriasis, right? There is no cure for eczema. So if people are saying, well, will this cure my condition? Look, the unfortunate news is that autoimmune diseases like psoriasis and eczema, to this day or right now, we know that you can't actually cure the condition. All you can do is manage it, right? So the key to this type of management is consistency and patience. You just got to be patient and consistent with this very simple healing treatment, and it will get better. Or at least it'll be much more manageable.
Yeah. I truthfully, I know we're ending this episode, but I'm going to throw a little spice out here. I actually don't believe that, Peter, even though it is what the research indicates, that these autoimmune things are things that we cannot cure. I don't believe that. I do believe that there are root causes, and if you can find the root cause, then the symptoms, which are the eczema, psoriasis, colitis, I believe that those things will, over time, heal. So my suggestion for you is to find those root causes and figure out why this is actually happening and start with your gut. But of course, always talk to your doctor, and always, this is not medical advice. This is just my opinion based on my experience so far. So I hope that's helpful. Karen, again, welcome back. And we're here for you and anyone else who's struggling with these conditions, and we would love to support you on this journey. So that's it for today, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for being there.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our show. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share this podcast with someone you think would love it. Until next time, love yourself, love one another, and love the world.